welcome to this live feed from China's Xinhua News Agency. I'm Li Huizi reporting from Christchurch, one of the major cities in South Island of New Zealand. And on Sunday midnight, a 7.5 magnitude quake hit northeast of Christchurch at a depth of 10 kilometers, triggering tsunami warnings. And on Monday morning, although the tsunami warning was cleared, but people were still told not to stay close to the coastal area. And residents living along the coast were told to move to a higher ground, to a safer place. And several aftershocks occurred on Monday. Most roads leading to the epicenter were closed because they were damaged seriously by landslides and caused by the earthquake. And in order to get to the epicenter, Xinhua reporters had to take helicopters because of the damaged road. And most helicopters in Christchurch were borrowed and used by the police. So we had to get a helicopter from a nearby area to Kapu. When we took the helicopter to arrive in Kandora, one of the area that is seriously affected by the quake, we found there are about 100 Chinese tourists stuck there because roads leading out of this area were damaged by the quake. So most of the Chinese tourists were stuck there waiting for the quake to recover. So when we arrived in this area, the Chinese consulate in Christchurch have already organized rescue missions, and they have rescued several batch of people. They have rescued several batch of people and picking them up by helicopters. And according to the Chinese consulate in Christchurch, about 44 Chinese tourists were rescued from this area, and they were taken by helicopter to the Christchurch, and the consulate here make arrangements for their livings here, and they're very grateful to the Chinese consulate. And also, the New Zealand is a country that frequently hit by earthquakes, and people have a great awareness of dealing with quakes. They know what to do when facing quakes. So although the quake, which is 7.5 magnitude, seems very serious, but most houses and constructions were intact because most of the construction here were earthquake-proof, and people have a good awareness of dealing with the quakes. And also, the local government, have immediately established several evacuation centers, and people living along the coast slept last night in these evacuation centers. But on Monday, the tsunami warning was cleared, so people were back home, and situation in the Christchurch went to the normal. But in the Kakura, there are about 1,000 international tourists there because Kakura is a popular tourist resort, and especially it is famed for whale watching. Just now I said about 100 Chinese tourists that were stuck there, and most of them also slept in their rental cars, and they were not afraid. They were afraid another earthquake, so they didn't go back to their homes. But there's still only 60 Chinese tourists in the Kankura area, and the Chinese consulate said they were going to organize several rescue missions tomorrow, and in order to send them back to Christchurch and back to China, back to you. And New Zealand is a country that frequently rattled by earthquakes, and Sandy midnight earthquakes brought people to the memories of a 6.3 earthquake that killed 185 people in February 2011. But fortunately, people here has a good awareness of dealing with earthquakes, so no major casualties were reported. Sandy's quake was reported to kill two people, so no further casualties were reported so far. Back to you.